Hello students, welcome back to Computer Science class 11. So up till now we have started learning the basics or the fundamentals of Python. This is the third or fourth lecture in it. Today we're going to learn about escape sequences. Now you all saw strings last time and you all know that Python allows us to represent a string constituting non-graphic characters as well. So non-graphic characters are those characters which cannot be directly typed from the keyboard, such as a backspace or a tab or a enter key. These are non-graphic characters and they are represented by using escape sequences. Okay, so an escape sequence is represented by a backslash. Each and every escape sequence you see, it will always be preceded by a backslash followed by one or more character. So it must be remembered that an escape sequence is represented as a string with 1 byte of memory. Okay, so we will look at these escape sequences and we will see how they are used. Backslash, single quote, double quote, bell, backspace, form feed, line feed, carriage return, horizontal tab, vertical tab, 16-bit hex value, octal value. So how do we print? How do we do these? I have taken these screenshots. You all can practice it on your end. I'm not going to do and show you all. Just look at it. Look at the first statement over here. Print with 2 backslashes inside the argument column. Inside the brackets, the argument is 2 backslashes enclosed in quotes. But if you look properly, the output is only 1 backslash instead of 2. That is because it's an escape sequence. The first one is the first backslash informs the interpreter that it's an escape sequence. And the second one is the one that it prints. So look at the word hello. There are 2 backslashes in the beginning and ending, but you can see only one. So if you want to print the path of a file, you will remember that a path of a file is always separated with a backslash. If you are writing in Python as a string, you have to use 2 backslashes so that one is visible. Next one is single quote. Now, if I have to type hello with quotes as my output to the user, but quotes are automatically not typed. Let's see this one. Okay, so over here, the first one we saw was the backslash. So if I say, I'm getting it exactly like that. But if I write the word print and then do it, can you tell me the error? It was the same error that I've done it before. The wrong backslash. Oh. Can you see only one backslash was printed? Now moving further, the next one was single quote. What if I want my output to be exactly like this? One way is to do this. Inside double quotes, I have written single quotes. Yes? So if I do it in the print statement, if I do it in the print statement, I get without the quote. I want the quote, so I can use two quotes. Inside the double quotes, I have written single quotes because Python will take both. Yes. Now I have hello with the quotes. But what if I don't want to do this and I want another way? Then I can use the escape sequence. Now in escape sequence, I will write let's say quotes and then inside it this and a quote, hello, again this and a quote. So I started with single quotes instead of starting with double quotes. Over here I started with double quotes and put single quotes inside it. But over here I'm starting with single quote. Even then I'm able to print this. That is because of the escape sequence. Okay. Similarly, we can do double quotes in the same manner. So I can say print one can be, I enclose it with single quotes. The second version is using the escape sequence. Use the escape sequence, the quote that I want, and then hello. Again, escape sequence and the quote. Look at yes. So this is how escape sequence will work. What does A do? A is a bell, ASCII bell. So it will put a bell, it will put this bullet over there. So can you see if I have to make a bullet kind of a program, I can use this option that is escape sequence A. You're going to practice each of this escape sequence in your interpreter mode. ASCII backspace. Now, how will you use ASCII backspace? Can you see? It looks different from this. Next is form feed. Form feed will give you what? A checkbox. New line character, this will be used quite often for you all. You have to use front slash n, backslash n, n over here. N means new line. Wherever you can see new line over here, you can see the word after that is typed on a new line. Although the code is in one line, the output is in 5 lines. Can you see that? The first line is left blank because it starts with new line. Yes. Carriage return means going to a new line again. But since it's already on a new line, it's just leaving some indent over there. Horizontal tab. You can see we started with 2 tabs. So welcome comes right in the center there. Vertical tab is vertically when we leave space between 2 things. Hex value, if you have to type hexadecimal values, you use X. Octal value is triple O. Triple O means 3 octal digits. Okay, now we come to the second type of literal, which is numerical literals. In numerical literals, it is divided into various types. Okay, first one is integer or int or integer, second is float, and third is complex. Now, numerical literals have 3 types: integer, float, and complex. This is decimal, integer, literal. Any whole number, positive or negative, will become any whole number, positive or negative, will become a decimal, integer, literal. So over here you can say I have a variable called cost is equal to, is my assignment operator. Then I have written the word int, something that you have not yet seen before. Over here the word int is defining the value that will be stored inside the word cost, and it is defining the type of value. That means it is telling cost that you are going to save, you're going to hold a integer kind of a value inside you, and in the bracket the words 5684 is the value that we are putting into the word cost. So where your cost is a variable, it's like a container. Integer is telling us the type of data that that container can hold, and 5684 is the data that will go inside the container. All right. Then we can also have octal literals with the base of 8, a sequence of digits starting with 0, O. Digital 0 followed by the letter O will indicate the interpreter that the value is in the octal form. It's not in the decimal form. How did we tell the interpreter it's in integer form, in decimal form? By using int. Over here we are telling it using 0 and O. And for hexadecimal, we have to use 0 with, sorry, O with X, capital or small. Okay. So these were your escape sequences. Now, how do you convert integer to their string representation? Okay, we are going to skip this for now because we have not still reached typecasting. The next one is float literal or constant. Now, floating point literals are also called as real literals because they have a fractional part in them. Okay, so we can say 15.75 is a float, or it's a real number. Yes, exponent form, it consists of two parts, mantissa and exponent. For example, 5.8 can be represented as 0.58 multiplied by 10 into minus 1. Mantissa is 0.58 and E01 will be the exponent. Okay, this is how you're going to represent it. Okay, we'll start from here. We'll continue from here because this slide was skipped somehow. We can also use binary literals in Python, and to signify or to tell the interpreter that the literal you have given is in the Python form, is in the binary form, you have to write 0 with a B or a 0 with a small b. Okay, so let's practice these three things right now. Okay. So for octal, we have to write digit 0 followed by letter O. So let's say I say variable 1 equals to digit 0 followed by letter O. So 0, O, 52. Suppose. Enter. And now let's say what's the value in it. We watch it. It's actually 42. So 42 in decimal is 52 in octal. Okay, let's try this again. So I will say variable 1. Using the same variable, you can keep changing values through your program. Capital 0 with a small o. I know this is not visible. So again, I'll say variable 1 equals to 0 with a small o, and then you can type any numbers besides from 1 to 8. You cannot use 8. You can use 1 to 7, 0 to 7, sorry. So let's take 703, enter. And let's look at the value 451. Okay. This is how you tell the interpreter that the value you are feeding is in the octal form and not digital form. If I have to write digital form, I will say variable 1 equals to int, open bracket, close bracket, and whatever is the number, 703, enter. And then if I say variable 1, it will tell me the value is 703. Moving to hexadecimal. For hexadecimal, we have to tell the interpreter O with an X. So I will say variable 1 equals to OX 703. Enter. Variable 1. Okay. So variable 1 equals to 0x 456. And then when I look at the value of var1, it will tell me 1110, because 1110 in decimal form equals to 456 in the hexadecimal form. Okay. Even in the binary, I can say 0 with a B. Okay. Uppercase or lowercase, and it will understand. So variable 1 equals to 0 with a B, 110110. Enter. Let's look 54. Yes, has this now become clear to you all how to use these, how to tell the interpreter in Python that the number or the literal you are feeding into the variable is in a different number system? Now, if you have to convert the integer to their string representation. So let's say I have a number. To convert an integer to its string representation, we have to use inbuilt functions. Inbuilt functions are like how we take a phone and we have inbuilt apps. Similarly, with Python, you have some inbuilt libraries, modules, functions which are given, which are ready for us to use. Similarly, these functions, we have learned length last time, len. Today we saw int, int, and now we are going to see hex. Okay, hex, bin, and oct. So to convert the integer 7 to its octal literal, okay, we will write oct, that is the function name, and in the bracket we have to pass an argument. Argument is like, for example, if you're cooking, you have ingredients you require for the recipe. Similarly, in Python, when you take a function, you have to give ingredients, you have to give things that are required for that function. So in this case, we have to provide the decimal number that we want to convert, correct? So to convert the integer 7 to its octal literal, you must type enter oct, in the bracket you write 7, and on the command prompt we will get an output. Let's see that now. So let's say oct. Let's see the octal number for 1589. Yes, you have to ignore the first two, O, 0, O. You have to only look at 3065. Similarly, if you want the hexadecimal, you will say hex. (635). And if you want binary equivalent, you will say bin, and in brackets, you will put the number. You have to ignore the first two. This is a good way to check your homework from the number system chapter that we have done. If you are confused on anything, please come here, use your own Python and check the answers. We'll do floating point next class. For this class, this much is enough. As homework, as assignment, I'm going to leave some small bits and pieces in your description box, some sort of an assignment, that some Python program that you have to do at home. Okay, so we'll do that. And in case you don't find anything in the description box, you can use your own practice sessions, because we are doing quite a lot in the video. You can practice that. All right. So with that, I end today's class. Stay home, stay safe, take care, and keep learning.